What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to the Nerd Castle. My name is Splattercat, and we are here hunting some rock, because that's what we do on weekends, because we have a severe distaste for our own dental hygiene. And so we will find the rock, we will chop it, and we will smoke it. Now, I'm kidding, we're trying to find materials right now so that we can make ourselves a new gun, since apparently the WA-2000 was not the gun that we were looking for. It Obi-Wan Kenobi'd us. And so if I can get a few more rocks right here, we can sit down a crafting table. A word of advice, carry a crafting table with you everywhere, just in case on the fly, like while being chased by a guy, you can sit down and make a weapon really, really fast if he loses sight of you. We are having pretty good luck with the rocks right now. I found myself, I think this is my 5th or 6th rock. And so once we get done with this, I'm hoping anyways, I'll try and do smelting off camera. I'll try and make sure that if any materials are created, we do that as far away from the film material as possible. However, I need a lot. I mean, we need a very, very severe amount of iron in order to make ourselves a radar dish. I mean, it's a lot. It's a ton. Wow, that rock explosively came out of the wall when I hit it right there. You'd think that thing was made out of TNT. Alright, so let's get up on a high point. If you look over there, that's where our base was when we first, all the way over there behind that little shack, that's where our first base was before they deleted the server. And so from here, I have found that over here on this side, there are a lot of rocks around. Let's lay down our crafting table and see if we can make a gun that we can actually defend ourselves with. Because this one is not doing it for me. I mean, I'm sorry, gun. You've got a lot of positive qualities. You're too close to a spawn point. You cannot build here. Great. And so this is your introduction to Beasts of Prey and why the claiming system sucks. And so what this basically means is I can't build. Not only can you not build in a claiming zone, you can also not build anywhere near a location where somebody has built their bed. And so these changes need to be gotten rid of like right now, because it essentially makes it so sometimes you can run around for hours, literal hours, before you can put down a crafting table. I've walked around for 45 minutes to an hour before I can drop any piece of equipment to help me build something real fast. And so this right here, I spent probably an hour and a half yesterday just running like this in one direction, waiting until I could find a spot to build the first foundation of my base. And so this is the reason right now fundamentally why the claiming system is broken and does not work and needs to be done away with. It needs to go. Because you can't even put down a crafting table to make yourself a gun real fast without this nasty red warning on your screen that's just not acceptable. I mean, so I guess we'll go back to farming materials. I wanted to do something more fun in the Let's Play right now, but within the confines of the game that they have designed, I can't do anything more fun. I'm restricted, unfortunately, from having fun, which in my experience with gaming, really not what you want to aim for, restricting people from having fun. Let's chop a few more rocks. I'll commit suicide. We'll go back to our base. And then I suppose at that point we'll be able to craft something since I can't do it right here. I don't mean to sound spiteful about that, but to me, in my eye, this just seems like a system that's counterproductive. What does it matter that that guy's house is right there, that I can't put down a crafting table? In real life, if I wanted to pick up my table and I wanted to walk outside and put my table right in front of my neighbor's front door, I can do that. It's a thing that exists. And so why we are restricted from doing something right now, I don't really know. I mean, obviously you would have griefing and things of that nature, but I think the positive fun that you would have that would come out of the system would far outweigh the negative. I understand people have been building walls around the spawn centers, and this is the developers' hasty way of like, for example, when the game released about a week ago, what you had is you had people that would build a wall around the area where the newbies spawned at 3535. And the newbies couldn't get out, and so essentially new people couldn't play the game, and like 2 people would own the entire server because they built a wall around the spawn. And I realize you've got to come up with ways to combat things like that deny service to people, but at the same time, it seems a little bit heavy-handed right now that I can't even build a crafting table when I'm out in the middle of nowhere to make a gun real fast for the ammo that I've crafted back at my base. So essentially I'm left with a decision to walk, a full 40 minutes back to my base, or B, I can kind of just, all of this is going to float downhill, so we'll go collect it down there at the bottom. Sometimes it despawns on you. I don't know what controls that, but every now and again the rocks will, see right there how they just disappear after a little while. I don't know if they do that so that the engine doesn't have to keep drawing physics for all of them maybe, and it makes sure that the server doesn't lag out based on the fact that there's just too much stuff bouncing around. Yeah, so still too close to a spawn point. You can't build here. I don't even know The spawn point is at -35, -35. Obviously, these people are able to build here, so my guess, deductively, is it's because people have built a bed around here somewhere. I had 4 hands right there. Did you see that for a second? I have 4 hands. I should be able to dual wield then, or at least our quadruple wield, assuming that we single hand the weapons. If the weapons are one-handed equipable, we should be able to quadruple wield. We're taking it up a notch. It's the only way to beat Drizzt is by quadruple wielding. You'd be like, "Whatcha?" You'd be like a buzzsaw at that point. You would be the most efficient miner ever. I would assume that mining companies would be lining up around the block to hire you if you had 4 arms that could each wield a pickaxe. Not to mention, you might be a little bit of fun in the bedroom. I don't know. You might top out. There might not be enough things to play with anymore once you've got 4 arms. I mean, I guess you could put them to good use, maybe, but I'm having to get creative right now in my head. I don't want to be too descriptive, but I'm going through some creative processes right now in my head to figure out how all 4 arms would be used. You guys can do the same thing. We'll go ahead and keep it PG-13 for now. Simultaneously, though, getting the creative juices flowing, among other things. Finish off this rock here. I think I'll probably let's take a look at after I get done with this, I'm going to take a look at the supply of raw ore that I have, because I know that I've spent a couple episodes running around in circles. There are no people on the server right now. I mean, it's 0 out of 20 the last time I checked, so I don't think there actually is anybody for us to shoot at or anybody to hunt, which leads me to believe that maybe the dinosaurs should come back, maybe? I don't know. Like I said, this playthrough is on its last legs right now. I sort of just want to craft the few remaining things that are on the list, and then we'll come back maybe once it's been updated for a little while and play further. I do like to keep survival games running, but unfortunately, if there's nothing for me to show off, there's simply nothing for me to show off. This is the last rock we're going to do. We're going to commit suicide by drowning ourselves, or we could jump off something really high. I don't think there's anything really high around at the moment. I mean, there was Stegosaurus was looking a little bit red-eyed. So I think we might be able to jump off of him, but Stegosaurus always seems like he's high. Stegosaurus seems like that guy that comes over to your house and eats all of your Honey Nut Cheerios when he's domed out. You were like, well, I was saving those, but if you want them that badly, Stegosaurus, you do have that scary spiky tail, so I suppose you can have the Honey Nut Cheerios. Let's go back to base. We'll craft a few more things. We'll try and keep ourselves occupado for the remainder of the episode. And I think this will probably be our last go at Beasts of Prey, simply because the last episode I was sort of on the fence about quitting the series, just because there's not a whole lot left to do. Right now, I'm sort of feeling like I'm talking just to fill blank space, and that seems to be the pretty good indicator for me whenever I play a game that it may be time for us to bail on out. Ah, there was a nice, lovely little chunk right there. Finish off this rock, and then we'll go to the lake to the left and drown ourselves. They're already calling us. Government agencies are like, no, don't do it. Don't do it. You have so much to live for. And I was like, indeed, but I have so much to live for back at my base, not right here. And so since committing the suicide, or the suicide, I got a Dreamcast. I don't know if I talked about this series, but I got a Dreamcast the other day, but it was kind of a mixed bag. Because the guy gave me the Dreamcast, but it was lacking the cables that I needed. So, for example, they've got like an RF adapter or like a coaxial cable for it. Totally useless in the modern world. Nobody uses a coaxial cable anymore. And so, unfortunately, I had to go and buy an AV cable on Amazon. And so I'm waiting for that to get here until I can have fun. I don't know. I saw another S-Audio or another... I'm drowning myself right now, by the way. Ignore what's going on in the background. It must be so. But I got the Dreamcast. I ordered Crazy Taxi. I ordered Echo. I also ordered... What else did I get? Oh, I got Jet Set Radio. That's the other game that I got. I got Jet Set Radio because I remember that game being a lot of fun. And then I also need to order Power Stone. Now, I did look up Skies of Arcadia. You guys had suggested Skies of Arcadia being a really, really cool game. Oh, it uses your stamina as your breath bar. I just noticed that. Anyways, you guys had mentioned Skies of Arcadia. Unfortunately, a copy of Skies of Arcadia starts at $50, and a new copy of Skies of Arcadia, because I'm a purist like that. I like to buy my old games new, still in the wrapping, so that you get like everything complete. You know that none of the... I collect things. That's me. I'm a little bit of a video game collector, and so I like to have the boxes and everything with things. I always hated it when I ended up with a copy of like a Sega Genesis game, for example. Ow. Wait, where did my base go? Where in the hell did it just spawn me? What? I mean, I know my base is over here, I think. We gotta get to 2930 from... Why did that happen? That was a little bit of a... Maybe they did that to stop people from doing exactly what I was doing, which is trying to teleport back to base by dying. Let gonna drown myself in this lake now and see if I end up in the right spot. We'll try again because I'm talking about Dreamcast and that's always a good thing. Skies of Arcadia though, I'm one of those people that, for example, I used to buy Sega Genesis games off eBay. I used to poach them all the time. Like I would look for like pristine copies and I would try and snipe them at the last second and stuff like that for my Sega, because I am a Sega Genesis nerd. I love Sega Genesis. Such a great system. But I like to get games new when they're older because sometimes they arrive and, for example, people will say that the game is collectible quality on Amazon, and then when it gets there it's like missing a chunk of the manual, or it's missing like a little decal that came with the game or something like that. And so for a brand new copy of Skies of Arcadia was upwards of $200, and I was like, oh my, that's a lot of money. So I may have to steer clear of that game for a little while. It's the weirdest thing going back. I was talking about this with a friend of mine, and it's weird going from modern gaming back to retro gaming, because when you go back to like Sega Genesis or back to the Sega or the Super Nintendo, for example. Why do you keep dropping me from midair? Oh, it dropped me right back in the exact same spot. Thank you for that. All right, well, let's walk in a direction until we get a bearing for where we're at with our sector reading right there. And we want to get to 2930 something, as I recall. And if we can get back to there, I think we'll be in very, very good shape. However, using sectors to navigate is a little bit cumbersome because on one hand, you've actually just got to walk in a direction. So we're going the right way with respect to our Y vector, but our X vector, I think we're actually going fairly true north right now. And so if we wanted to go negative, I think we need to go left, because west is always counted as the negative vector when you're looking at so you've got north is counted as, explaining this roughly to you guys since I assume very few of you are actually geologists. If you're going north and south, then north is considered positive and south is considered negative, east is considered positive and west is considered negative. And so you're either going like positive bearing positive, which means you're going northeast, or you're going negative bearing negative, which means you're going southwest. And so I'm kind of thinking in those respects right now. That's an old system that's not really used too much anymore, but still, I use it in games like this where I'm dealing with just like an X and a Y coordinate because it makes me feel a little bit better about the situation. This could be an adventure in me just finding my way back home. We could have like a Brave Little Toaster situation going on right now. Or the Little Blanket, or whatever the hell that movie was, where the little blanket, I forget, what was the name of that? The Brave Little Toaster, and like the movie with the blanket came out around the same time where they're trying to find their way home. I don't know, we had like this big outbreak of movies in the 90s for kids where people were always trying to find their way home. I don't know why everybody was lost in the early 90s, but apparently in the early 90s, everybody was lost and couldn't find their master, couldn't find the person that owned them, couldn't find the person that they loved, and essentially that meant that everyone was homeward bound. And so it felt like the motif of every movie back then was people trying to find their way back to where they came from. I think we're on the backside of this mountain right here, or maybe that one over there. I don't know. Now that they have cut all ties to my home base, I'm feeling a little bit lost. It also doesn't help that they wipe out your inventory, like my taskbar down here. It wipes that out every time you die. I don't know what the function is of that occurring. Oh, we've got like 85 ore. God, we've got all kinds of stuff to do. So let me go ahead. I'm going to make a break in the episode right here. And once I make a break in the episode, we'll do a cut. I'm going to find my way back home because I get the distinct feeling you are probably not so interested in watching me wander throughout the hills, glens, and mountains trying to find my way back. Another downside to the map being so enormous is that, you know, sometimes you just can't. Is that it? I don't think that's it. I sincerely don't think that's my base. It looks a little bit small. But I think that might be mine over there on that mountain, or it could be this. Either way, let's make a cut, and I'll see you guys on the other end. So coming back, it's not that we were respawning in the wrong spot. We were respawning in the right spot. Our base is completely and utterly gone. And so this is kind of a major setback, and one that makes me think that the game is simply not ready for prime time right now. I spent pretty much all day yesterday building that base, trying to make sure that we get to record some episodes today, and my base is now gone, and everybody else's base is still here. I can run through the hills and people are still chilling, I mean, hanging out in their bases. So I don't know why my base has decided to vanish without a trace here, but I think I'm going to call a close to this series just because I'm starting to feel like a mounting frustration with trying just to get anything recorded with this in the last week. So anyways, the game is Beasts of Prey. I wouldn't say that it's quite ready for prime time right now. If you have any attachment to anything that you're doing in a video game, I would say to stay away. This isn't even like a server reset. There's bases all over the place right now. my base singly just decided to disappear all on its own while everybody else's is still here. I don't know. My name is Splattercat. We're going to move on to different series right now, ones that preferably would allow me to record more than, one episode over the course of 5 or 6 days without falling apart. I will see you all later. Take care out there, everybody, and hi-do.